Hey everyone, it's Brandon from Electriq Marketing, and today I'm going to be showing you the Postscript platform and walking you through the various different things that you can do within it. Postscript is one of the best SMS platforms out there for Shopify, especially for merchants that are using ReCharge to power their subscriptions as well, with the robust integration that their team has built out there. So I'm going to use one of our clients' accounts to walk you through it. And we will start with the most basic thing in a dashboard and get all the way down to analytics as well. Just sort of taking these step by step. So to start, first you'll see your total number of subscribers up at the top. So this particular client has a little bit over 3,500 on Postscript. You can look at your dashboard in terms of today, last 7 days, last 30 days, last 90 days, and the last year. And then you can see your top live automations. So naturally, the Welcome series is one of the best ones. And you can see as they sort of proliferate down, and then the best campaigns you sent out, and also which keywords are driving the most subscribers to your list. So you see this free 6-pack keyword, which is a really hot count. We're actually driving a lot of paid social traffic to that as of about a week ago. To this landing page, which has email and SMS opt-in to Klaviyo and then to Postscript on desktop. But if you were to view it on mobile, it actually only has mobile opt-in. So you click on that link and it's going to populate a text message on your phone with a pre-populated message to your short code that will automatically opt you in. You just have to click send. So we've gotten a little bit over 1,300 new SMS subscribers in a week just from this landing page. But I will leave that for a different video. In a different talk. So that's your dashboard at a high level. You can see your new subscribers, responses received, and your total earned as well. Something we like to take a look at is campaign revenue versus automation revenue and keyword revenue. We want automation and keyword revenue to be as high as possible because the bulk of your SMS communications should be automated. If you set up enough automated flows, most of your customer journey should be covered by those automated flows. And that way you're making sure that the communications are timely and relevant, and that it's not just a Tuesday and you feel like sending out a blast to your list. So that allows you to keep your unsubscribe rate really low, and then also just curate a really healthy relationship with your customers and your contacts on your list. So that's the dashboard in a nutshell. Next we'll go into keywords first, actually, because this is one of the best ways that you can drive opt-ins to your list. These keywords you can promote basically anywhere: website, social media, your email. You can put it in your product packaging. You can put it on QR codes that you send out in shipments to customers. And then when in-person events come back, you could actually even put it on like little cards that you hand out. So say you have like a keyword like this, for example, free 6-pack, scan this QR code at an event, and then you're automatically going to get a link that will allow you to try that product out for free, or for free, just pay shipping, and you're going to get it all within that text thread. And then this is the keyword that you want people to send, or this is the phone number that you want people to send the keyword to. And so it's very easy to create a new keyword. Let's say we want to create Electriq. You can choose to include a coupon, whether it's a % or $1 off. If you don't want to do a dynamically created one, you can just save it, and then in here you can add an action. We're going to include a reply. So let's say this is a sample text message, and you can add a discount link in the reply. So you could say discount code, let's say like try 10, and then the URL you want it to apply to. You can also add a product link. This one's really cool and is something we use frequently. So we're actually running it currently on this landing page here, where in the auto response you're going to get a link that will take you to a so in the pre-populated response that we have on that landing page, it will take you to a cart that has the discount pre-populated. So I actually picked the wrong product for this one, but if it were a product that was in stock, then the discount would be automatically applied here. And then you can also add in a coupon that will dynamically generate either %, dollar, or free shipping, and you can make it specific to a collection as well. So all you have to do is insert that collection ID. You can pull that from your Shopify account or from just looking at the URL on your website. And then you can also just add a tag. So like first name, last name, your shop name, or your shop link. So that's keywords. You'll see them a lot on Instagram bios as well. People put them in their captions. And these are really great like evergreen capture methods where you can let them live there forever and you'll just slowly get new subscribers every day. That's one of the best ways to build your SMS list, is to build out those evergreen lead capture methods to make sure you're continually filling the top of the funnel on your list. Another way you're going to do that is pop-ups. So there's a variety of tools that you can use for pop-ups. On desktop, we'll typically use the Klaviyo tool and then just pass over the phone number from Klaviyo to Postscript. I'll save that for a separate video, that Klaviyo Postscript integration tutorial. But you can also use the native Postscript desktop pop-up. The only thing we don't like about the desktop pop-up is that on Postscript is that if you use this pop-up and you send over the email to Klaviyo, it's not going to send over the phone number. So you're not going to know if that person is opted into SMS or not once that email gets sent over. So there's no way to have a differentiated welcome series for people that opted into email and SMS versus people who are just opted into email and just opted into SMS. Obviously, you don't want to send duplicative messaging. Even though your email and SMS campaign should be a little bit different, they're going to be relatively similar. And so ideally you have 3 flows. You have one for email only, one for SMS only, and one for somebody who gave you both of their contact methods. Unfortunately, if you use the Postscript desktop pop-up, that's not currently possible. So we'll typically use a Privy, Justuno, or Klaviyo to capture that email, and then we'll pass off the phone number to Postscript. Where we do use the Postscript pop-up is mobile. And that is because for most of our clients, we are capturing phone number only on mobile. We aren't even asking for the email address. Part of the reason behind that is because of how seamless the opt-in process is for mobile devices. And as an example, I will show you this landing page again. Now, again, this isn't a Postscript pop-up, but it will look the exact same. This is custom coded by our dev team so that when you click on it, and if you are on your phone, it's automatically going to populate, but obviously I'm on my laptop. You're going to open your messages and it'll show up here. I'm going to click send. I'm not actually going to though, because I've already done this a few times before. And then it's going to drop in the response automatically with the link. So that is that quick link that will take me to the cart with the discount code pre-populated. So you can see here, so good, code free, and shipping is only $5.99. So that's the campaign we're running for this one. So that is why it's so seamless and why we only capture mobile phone numbers, or why we only capture phone numbers on mobile if we can, because it's such a more seamless opt-in process as opposed to entering your email. You got to go find your mail app, your Gmail app, then you have to go find the email, then you have to click on the email, then you have to click on the link within the email, then you have to browse around the website. Here, you literally click opt-in on mobile. It's going to open up a pre-populated text message to your short code. The visitor only has to click send. The offer will show up automatically in that thread. They click the link. It's going to apply to their cart immediately, and they can just check out. You also don't have to give them a quick link like that. You could send them to the website, or you could send them to a specific collection page. But we see for like new customer acquisition, making it as seamless as possible has helped us a tremendous amount. So we really prefer to use those quick links. So in summary, desktop pop-ups will typically reserve for another platform like a Klaviyo or a Privy, and then pass over the phone number to Postscript. And then we'll use the Postscript pop-up on mobile just to keep things simple. Now, for your automations, you're actually going to have to set up a different flow depending on if you capture them via a third party or if you capture them via Postscript. Because technically, when you capture them via a third party app on desktop, they're not subscribing to a keyword, they're getting passed over via API. Whereas if they have subscribed via mobile, they're getting subscribed to a particular keyword that you've set up in the back end here. And so they're going to get an auto response from that keyword. So in our automations, we're always going to have one that is, and for this client, they're using Klaviyo. So we have a Klaviyo specific one here, and then we have a keyword subscriber one here. So you can see people who've come through the Klaviyo form versus people who've come through the mobile form. Now let's go into actual automations and how to actually build those out. So here we can go create an automation. There's some pre-built ones like abandoned cart, customer win back, order delivered, and so on. But you can also build out custom automations as well. Here's where you'll get your full suite of checkout triggers. Sorry, not checkout triggers, automation triggers. And you can see there are various ones from fulfillment created to order delivered. Order delivered is great if you want to trigger a review request from one of the review apps that integrates with Postscript, like an Akendo. You can also do subscriber created, so this is a great way to do anything through APIs. So if I were going to do a user filter, then this is where you can say, okay, a subscriber was created, but we only want to include users in this flow who have number of orders that are equal to 5, or we want to only include people who are currently in an automation that is the customer win back. This basically allows you to set up a trigger and then filter out people from that trigger based on certain criteria about them. So if you were doing a Klaviyo passover, you would say subscriber tag is equal to the form code. So let's say it's that. Then you'd click save, and then that would allow you to pass over people who are created via API, but only ones who include that Klaviyo form ID. And then this is also where you put your cancellation triggers. So we want to cancel this if a checkout was started, because theoretically we also have an abandoned cart flow set up here. So if somebody creates a checkout and starts that process and then they abandon it, then we don't want them to keep receiving the welcome series, because they're also going to go into the abandoned cart now. And so that's why we have that cancel automation here as checkout started as opposed to order created. Because if we did order created, they could potentially trigger both the abandoned cart and still stay in the welcome series. Now let's say we want to move forward with this. We can save and continue to the messages. We can say we want to wait 2 hours or 2 days or 2 weeks or 2 minutes. And then this is where we actually start to build out the flows. It's very simple to add a photo or GIF, but there are very specific dimensions we want to build out the photos and GIFs at. You will drop them here, but I'll also put them into the comments below. For GIFs, these are the dimensions that you want. And then for still images, you're going to want a 16:9 ratio, or excuse me, a 9:16 aspect ratio, and then also a 640:1138 is typically the one that we will use. We frankly don't really use anything other than this one for still images and these 4 for GIFs, because they present the best. That's the best way to present them in the actual text message. So, for example, if you want to add an image or a GIF, you will just open that up. And let me find a GIF here that I can drop in. Another thing that's important to note is if it's over 500 kilobytes, you're going to want to use a tool like easygif.com. Just type in easygif.com/optimize and then upload your GIF in there. And you can optimize it down, scale it back to a file size that is appropriate. And then here you can see the GIF. This is for another client that actually doesn't use Postscript. They use Attentive, but this is one of the creatives we did. And you can see it preview over here. Now, within here, you can also add in tags, coupons, reply to buy, discount link, and product link. Reply to buy is only going to be relevant to ReCharge customers. This particular client has not set up reply to buy yet, though we will be doing that very soon for them, because that's one of the most powerful features of the ReCharge integration with Postscript. But you can also add in tags, so the first name, shop name, or shop link again. You can also add in a coupon that's dynamically generated by Postscript, $dollar free shipping. This is kind of like the keyword setup as well. You can also add product link or discount link, just like we showed in that keyword example. Now, this is where we start to add more messages, and you can create the filters and how much time you want to wait and everything like that again as well. And then it'll give you a strength scale as well. So it's telling me I should include a link to drive clicks and purchases, and also add a photo or GIF to increase engagement. We'll do a mix of photos versus just text. It's sort of a combination approach that we like to take, because there is an additional cost to those MMS messages versus SMS, and sometimes the regular text-based ones, no creative, are just as effective. Most of the studies are actually showing that they are the same in effectiveness. Part of me just doesn't want to believe it, because I really like the ones that have creative versus the ones that are just plain text. Now let's say we're good to go here. We can save the automation, and now we can set it live if we want to. And then once that automation is set up, here's where we can view the flow. So we're going to wait 2 hours, and then they're going to get this message. Then we're going to wait 4 days, then they're going to get this message. The cancellation triggers are here, so if checkout starts, they are going to get taken out of this flow. And this is how they enter. If they're created via Popup, keyword, or API, and then if their subscriber tag includes these 6 digits. Also, you can look at a high level, see the messages sent, total clicked, total ordered, and total earned. And this is where you can also clone your flows, so you can move them and into a different automation, and then change the filters around a little bit, but maybe keep the creative the same, and just change the segmentation. So let me make sure that I did not turn that on. Next up is campaigns. So campaigns are going to be your ad hoc sends. Here you can see open campaigns that are being currently built, but here's where you can actually create them. You can segment them, so you can A/B test them. So let's say A/B group 1 of 2, for example. We'll save and continue to preview. Let's include a link. Save and continue to preview. And you can send campaign now, schedule it, or send a test. And then now if I go back to campaigns, it will save it as a draft. But this is where we can do our segments and actually start to build out specific ones that we want to send to. So let's say we want to send out to VIP customers where total spend is over $500 over the course of their lifetime. That's where we can do that segmentation and then send it out, the automatic campaign. So just to recap, automations, this is where you're going to build out all of your flows. You have over 30 triggers to choose from and a bunch of different user filters to not only, once somebody is triggered into that flow, filter out who you actually want to go into it versus who you don't. That's a great way to do split abandoned carts, like we have for a few of our clients, where abandoned cart is the trigger, but then we have user filters set up, so if the cart value is under $50, they go down one abandoned cart. If the cart value is 51 to 100, they go down one other abandoned cart, and then if the cart value is above $100, they're going to go down a completely different abandoned cart flow that we've set up for them, because we want to differentiate the messaging based on the size of their cart. Obviously, a $150 cart is more important to us than somebody with a $25 cart. We can also split out the carts by whether they've purchased or not before. Somebody who's never purchased before should receive a more aggressive abandoned cart offer than somebody who is a repeat customer, for example. These are just some of the examples of how complicated you can make one flow based on the different user filters that we can use. Then you have campaigns. This is where you send your one-off campaigns. Heavily segment these to make sure that they're actually relevant and to keep your unsubscribes down. So here we'll cover responses really quickly. You can forward your responses to an email. We recommend integrating it with one of their customer service platforms like Zendesk or Gorgeous, so that you can open a ticket anytime somebody replies to your text message. It's going to be much more effective for you and your team to manage it that way. None of the response dashboards for any of these SMS tools are very robust because they're not meant to be. You're just supposed to use your customer service platform. So I won't even really cover this. It's pretty straightforward. You can click on it and reply, and you can resolve it, or you can opt that person out. It just becomes really, really difficult to manage when you're using a separate customer service platform. And there's no macros associated with this. You can't assign it to certain people. It's not meant to be something that you scale with. You're going to want to integrate it with your customer service list. Next up is a grow your subscriber list tool over here. We already covered being able to text a keyword for people to opt in, but here's where you can convert your email subscribers to mobile subscribers. So you can choose a keyword, and then you can create a Shopify landing page for desktop users, and then you can set a mobile opt-in message. So you could send out an email campaign that has a link that will then open up a text message pre-populated on their phone. So if you were going to send out an email to your whole list and say, sign up for SMS to be the first person to know about our new product launch coming up, on desktop it would send them to a landing page, and on mobile it would send them to a pre-populated message that will then allow them to opt in. You can also share your opt-in link via Instagram stories. So again, choose your keyword, have a Shopify page. You also have a mobile opt-in message. So if people swipe up on that story, it's just going to open up their messages automatically, again, with the message to your shortcode. So the emphasis here is that it's so easy to opt into SMS on mobile, a little bit more difficult on desktop, which is why we typically will only do phone number capture on mobile. And then here's where you can opt in customers with QR codes. So this is something that would be relevant for in-person events, or putting it into the boxes that go out to your customers and shipments, maybe like a little QR code card for people to have a bounce back offer to repurchase. Or what you do is put it on your actual packaging that you send out to retailers or just your customers. Last is checkout. So this Shopify checkout subscriber acquisition is now limited to Shopify Plus only, because the level of customization for the opt-in language is not sufficient enough to comply with the TCPA requirements. You can still do it via ReCharge checkout, cart hook checkout, and a custom checkout. Here's where you will go through all of your integrations. So you see we have the Klaviyo integration here, but there's a whole host of other ones that we can set up. We're currently migrating this client to Akendo, so we'll be able to ask for user-generated content and reviews via SMS, and then we'll eventually be migrating them to ReCharge as well from Bold subscriptions, which will allow us to utilize functions like reply to buy, update your billing information, cancel subscription, everything like that. And then once you click on one of the integrations that's enabled, you can see all the different options that you have for that particular integration. I'm going to do a separate video on the Klaviyo Postscript integration, because that is a sort of a beast in its own right, and deserves its own sort of tutorial. Last but not least is analytics. So you can change your date range over here to a custom range if you so desire. Let's say we're going to look at just the last couple of days. You can see what automations sent the most. So let's say we want to see which ones were sent the most, what type it was. So campaign, automation, opt-in, keywords. So you can see that free 6-pack that we're running. Credits used, how much we spent on that, what the unique click-through rate was, how many orders, and what sort of revenue was generated through there. And then one of the coolest things about Postscript is that you can see what is under consideration, what's planned, and what is launched in terms of app functionality. So this is where you can submit ideas. And this really is crucial for, especially as an agency, we have a lot of clients that we want to do different things with. And so this allows us for our voices to be heard, but more importantly for you, if you're just a single customer who has certain feature attributes that you want to be added to the tool, this is a place where you can submit your ideas, and they are consistently using this as sort of their product roadmap to continue to build out their tool and to make it better for us to use. So that's Postscript in a nutshell. It's a pretty simple UI, UX, and really easy to get started with, but you can get very advanced with it very quickly. Like that example I gave for the abandoned carts, for example, having 6 different abandoned carts based on the cart value and then whether or not that person is a repeat purchaser or not, just requires sort of a lot of time, thought, and effort into how are you segmenting that, making sure that the offer is relevant, that there's no overlap, and then keeping track of all those flows and reporting on what works and what doesn't. But at a high level, you have your dashboard to review everything. You can build your automations out in here. You can build ad hoc campaigns in here. You segment your customer database in here as well by creating a segment and choosing how you want to sort of slice and dice them with a ton of different options that you can go through. Here's where you can add new keywords, and then here's where you can view all of your responses. Here's where you can do some of your growing of the subscriber list, pop-ups, checkout integrations for capturing phone numbers at checkout, connecting the rest of your tech stack to your SMS platform, and then analytics. And then last but not least, if you would like to save some money on your Postscript account, you can always refer and earn, as they like to put it. But that is Postscript. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to put comments below, or you can reach me at brandon@electriqmarketing.com. I'm going to do a separate video on the Postscript Klaviyo integration because that deserves sort of its own video, and there are some nuances to how that is set up. I'm also going to do a separate video on this landing page that we set up because there are specific things we had to do to make sure that email and SMS don't overlap, and they are using Klaviyo, and this was built on Unbounce, so there's also things we had to do with adding Postscript JavaScript into the Unbounce landing page to make sure that the phone number opt-in was working. And these are custom CTAs that allow us to have a text message open automatically as opposed to using one of the out-of-the-box Postscript ones. But I will link those two videos down below once those are created as well. Again, you can reach me at Brandon@Electriq Marketing. That's ELECTRIQ marketing.com, or just go to our website and hit us up there, or drop some comments below. Thanks for watching. I hope it was useful, and I'd highly recommend getting started with SMS if you're an e-commerce brand on Shopify, whether it's Postscript, Attentive, or otherwise. And we're running a 30-day free trial with Postscript as well, where they give you 30 days of their platform for free, and we give you 30 days of our managed SMS services for free. And then at the end, you sort of decide whether the ROI was there after we review reporting, and you can make the decision whether or not you want to move forward with one or both of us. But yeah, as always, feel free to reach out, and thanks again.